My name is Jaycee Johnson. I am a grad student in biological engineering. So I grew up in Troy, Idaho on my family's farm. And so I started working on the farm from a pretty young age. I also grew up riding in the combine with my dad and riding in the tractors and everything. My dad really inspired me because he's the type of farmer that is really looking at the new practices that are coming out and trying to implement them on his farm. And so I decided that I wanted to go into that side of ag, which working with new technologies and developing those and researching those. And so I found the biological engineering degree at the University of Idaho. And that led me into getting into this project.
This is a USDA funded project to do in a larger scale experiment to see how much biochar is going to increase that soil moisture over the entire growing period. So what we are here today is to install soil sensors about 1 foot and 2 feet deep into the soil. That's going to stay here for about 3.5 years. And it will collect soil moisture and soil temperature data every 2 hours. When you look at the Palouse hill, you may find that the crop looks uniform, but if you really look closer, the yield on the top of the hill is much lower than at the bottom of the hill, and that has to do mostly with the moisture. So at the top of the hill, moisture runs down with nutrients and taking all the other chemicals with it, causing downstream problem like eutrophication.
When the nutrients are moving from the hillsides down, that means that your plants on the hillsides are lacking nutrients and are going to be stunted in their growth. But that means also that the valleys or the draws are in excess of nutrients, which means that they're not getting used up, and this is a really inefficient way of farming.
So by keeping more moisture and nutrient on top of the hill, we are not only helping to grow more on the top of the hill, but also reduce the problem downstream.
The biochar is helping retain these nutrients where you're applying them as well. So it's kind of tying them up in a way, so leaving them where they're applied instead of letting them leach down with the erosion in the water and everything.
We have 2 types of biochar. One is wheat straw biochar, which is locally, we have a lot of wheat straws around. And also the biochar from wood waste. We have a lot of lumber mills around, which they have a lot of excess wood waste, I would say, at very low value wood waste that we can turn that into biochar. And right here we have Palouse, where biochar can help a lot.
I think it's really important in this day and age, especially because we have a growing population, and one of the main challenges of farming is producing enough for the growing population with the same amount of land that we've always had. And one way that people are thinking to address this is to make sure that we're maximizing the yield on our fields.
This is a very win-win-win situation for sequestering carbon, making farm more sustainable, using the local resources to add values, growing local economy. So there's a lot of benefits out of this project.